Hey, it's Dane at ZIMM'S Guitars. Forget what my shirt says. I have no idea what this bargain music thing is all about. But customer showcase video today. So Paul brought in a guitar. Here he comes. Here
Hi.
he is.
It looks like a Gibson.
Come in here close and let's take a look at this.
That is not a Gibson screen, although
looks
it does
kind of-
say that.
It looks fake.
It gives you a little bit of an idea. This could potentially generate a lawsuit from Gibson. So why not put a lawsuit guitar in it?
So is this some sort of a Gibson or something?
No, it is not a Gibson. This is you hear a lot about lawsuit guitars, and
Right.
they really are specific to one style of guitar. This is a lawsuit guitar, not from Ibanez or Ibanez as they become known now, but this is a Japanese Greco.
Greco, look up here at the headstock logo.
Oh no, it is as lawsuit inducing as you can possibly ask for.
So Greco.
Yes, Greco, depending on
Greco.
how you want to pronounce it. But this is
What's it say right here?
custom. This is
okay.
based upon the 1974 Gibson Les Paul Custom that Ace Frehley played when they toured in KISS in 70s in Japan.
So when you push this button, this starts. Was it the center pickup that smoked?
It was the neck pickup. Actually, all of Ace Frehley's guitars, only the bridge pickup works, and that's the only, I don't want to say flaw, but modification that's been made on this guitar. These came stock. I'll go down the whole run list of it, but these came stock with Maxon pickups, which were a very highly desirable Japanese pickup in the 70s. Maxon 2000s in this one.
Maxon that made the Tube Screamer.
Yes,
Okay.
Maxon, Maxon pickups.
Oh, cool.
All right, and then this is a Bill Lawrence, I think it's a 340. I could be wrong, incorrect, but that's a Bill Lawrence on the bridge.
What's with the silver housing?
It's like a housing around the coils.
And it's chromed, not silver, but
Yeah.
a chromed housing around the coils.
So let's give you the rundown. So Greco was a Japanese guitar maker manufactured by a company called Fujigen, or Fujigen, depending on who wants to pronounce it. And Fujigen made cheap Japanese copies of Gibson Les Pauls starting in the early 70s under the EG series. So if you see a a Greco model number called EG, that is their Les Paul series. And the EG series began in like 1970, and they were originally, I'll give you a great example. You have a bunch of Japanese Les Paul copies on the wall. The early ones had bolt-on necks, and that was how you could tell the difference between the Japanese import version.
Let's look at one of those.
All right, so typically, the 1970s Japanese Les Paul copy would look like this. It would have the binding, it would have the speed knobs, it would have the bridge, and a similar bridge to what Gibson would do. It would have these Asian manufactured import pickups, and by all accounts, it would look similar to the Les Paul Custom, even down to the diamond in the inlay.
The open book headstock.
The open book headstock, the whole deal. This would be, some people would try to convince you that this is a lawsuit guitar. Fact of the matter, it isn't, because the difference is there's a bolt-on neck. And the bolt-on neck was not how Gibson has ever manufactured a Les Paul guitar. The Les Paul guitars are all solid body, glued in neck. So this used to be how they would differentiate the 70s Les Pauls from Asia, or Japan specifically, from Americans. And if you look at this is even a pancake body. You can barely see the seam. So this is legitimately from the 70s, Japan. This was manufactured in Japan in the 70s. I don't know by what factory.
And this is the same.
No.
Straight out of Japan.
It's straight out of Japan, and you would say to yourself, well, I'm looking at it. It has the binding. It has the speed knobs. It's clearly got higher quality components and the pickups on it. It is also a pancake body, because that's how Gibson made them when Norland was manufacturing Gibson guitars.
I think it's weird how thick it is on the top and it's thinner. It looks like 3/4 inch and maybe a 1/2 inch.
Maybe. And you know what? Norland was known to be that inconsistent as well. So they were definitely keeping with what Gibson's manufacturing. And then on the back, you've got the same binding and finished back. But then, look, it's a glued-in neck.
Right.
And if you go down the neck, it also has the volute that Norland was making their guitars, the Gibson Les Paul.
Cool.
And then,
What are our tuners? Ping?
no, they're Greco deluxe tuners based upon, they look like they're based upon Grovers. There are two different sets of tuners that you can get for these because there were different levels of this guitar. The EG series starts at a low number like 360, 350.
And the F is a giveaway for the Fujigen.
Fujigen, yeah, Fujigen Factory, 1979. And I'm guessing 7744. I don't know, is probably their batch number or whatever it is.
Right.
But you'll see the EG 800. The interesting thing about these, the bigger the number on the back of the model, the more expensive the guitar. So this would have been 80,000 yen.
Dang, that's a lot.
I guess this would have been.
Or is it $80?
I don't know, but this would have been 80,000 yen to buy this thing in 1979. This is the EG 800 PR. The EG 800 PR is the top of the line Ace Frehley copy that Greco made. They also made the EG 600.
The bridge, is this the Nashville style or is that the...
Whatever it is, it's period correct.
Okay.
And again, period correct is relative when it comes to what was going on with Norland in the 70s.
Now, if it didn't say Greco on here...
You couldn't tell the difference
You
because
wouldn't be able to tell.
there's even fret nibs.
Wow, there's even fret nibs.
One of the big things that is usually a giveaway for a Gibson Les Paul knockoff is fret nibs. And that is the rolling of the binding up over the edge of the frets themselves to keep a smooth edge on the neck.
But now, usually you would see trapezoid inlays, wouldn't you?
Not on a custom.
Okay.
This is based on a Les Paul custom.
I got
and
you.
so the square inlays. Now, it's interesting because these inlays are the only, I would say, substandard visual on it because they're inconsistent with as far as their quality goes. They're inconsistent. They're probably an acrylic, you know? And it's a rosewood fretboard versus ebony, which is what came on a real custom.
I'll tell you, when you have those fret nibs like that, just it makes the side of those frets, you can't feel them.
No, it
Super
totally
smooth.
changes the edge of the guitar. And then if you scroll up, the diamond is mother of pearl, and the logo is mother of pearl, and the open book headstock.
So in the 70s, when Gibson got their hands on one of these, they were like, oh, snap, man, these guys are making good guitars.
This is what happened when the quality of Japanese guitars had to improve when the quality of American Norland-made Gibsons were spotty. Suddenly, people were complaining about the American quality, and the Japanese quality had improved to the point where, why shouldn't I just buy one of these? Because it has the volute, it has the open book headstock. I mean, even the logo is clearly trademark infringed from Gibson.
Is it a maple cap?
No, that's a maple top.
It's definitely not a veneer in those days.
This is a maple. This is legit maple, legit binding, legit pancake design. This is, and it's solid. There's no routing in here.
And it's super clean for its age. One little tiny ding there,
Yeah.
one little tiny ding there.
It's 50 years old.
Three little tiny dings on the front, and that's about it.
And what happened was, and again, the difference between this model and the EG 600, which was another Ace Frehley Les Paul copy.
It was probably just the two pickup.
No, it was the three pickups. They were
okay.
Maxon 1000s. The body was routed inside. So in here, these are all individual routings, and the cables, you know, all the wiring is done in between the cavities. On the EG 600, the top comes off, and the whole cavity in here is routed, like the chambering that you would see.
Yeah.
And the top was plywood with a laminate over it. So that was the difference between the EG 600 and the EG 800.
Plywood.
Yeah,
compared to
plywood
solid,
to a solid maple.
Solid.
Weighed a little bit differently.
Maple neck?
Yes.
Okay, so you don't really have to worry about, if it falls over, it's not going to crack like...
I'm not testing it.
You're right. But, I mean, you see a lot of the 70s Les Pauls, and they all have headstock injuries, but the maple ones don't break as easy as that mahogany.
And so what happened was the quality of these guitars became so good that Gibson, I mean, you couldn't tell. If I put my finger over that,
Right.
you don't know that that's not a Gibson. And if I were to put my finger over that, you couldn't tell me that's not a Gibson. Because even the bridge is not metric.
The knobs been changed?
No, these came with these knobs.
Wow.
Came with these speed knobs because that's what was on the 74.
Oh, okay.
The 74 customs that Ace Frehley played.
Right.
So long story longer.
So was the Dan Lawrence pickup factory?
Bill Lawrence was not factory.
Oh,
no.
Bill Lawrence. Dan Lawrence
it came
is the
with
painter.
It came with 3 Maxon 2000s.
Okay.
I'm not the original owner. The original owner swapped this out to a Bill Lawrence. I did find this, excuse me, in Japan and had it shipped over. It came in a gig bag.
Wow.
It came in a gig bag and bubble wrapped, and I was surprised that it came over and that headstock was not broken.
Maple. It's not gonna
So
break
whomever
like that.
whomever did a great job on packing this thing, I thank them because it's a cool guitar. Again, it's 52 years
So
old
that
now.
explains the case. You just got.
Yeah, I just
whatever
wanted
random-
something that would fit a Les Paul. And because this isn't a Les Paul, and I own multiple Les Pauls, I do own real Les Paul cases.
It fits that it's spray painted on there.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. It's a funny case.
Yeah.
And so, because these were made by Fujigen, who are the same people that make FGN guitars, which is basically this guitar updated.
Right.
But in between that period, Orville Guitars, which was Gibson's official brand name in Japan, all the Orville Les Pauls, that's what this is.
Okay, and they'll say Orville.
They say Orville up the top, but
Are they still making the ones that say Greco?
no, they don't make Greco Les Pauls anymore, no.
Okay. But they make Orvilles.
They don't make Orvilles anymore.
Oh, they don't even
The
do
Gibson
that.
contract with Orville has completed, and now they're FGN.
FGN.
Yeah.
3 initials that would say FGN. Fujigen.
And they've changed the headstock to not have the mustache notch in the middle of the book, open book. So the headstock now is a smooth top
Look,
with
you
FGN.
even got that nice little binding that rolls all the way up here. 5 piece?
5 or 7?
1,
5.
2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah.
5-piece binding all the way out, round, front and back.
So when somebody tells you that they've got a lawsuit Les Paul, that's what they're talking about. They're talking about one that is literally the only difference between this guitar and the Gibson
and
is the
legally,
logo.
did Gibson try to sue them and all that kind of stuff? Did they have cease and desist orders out? What do you know about all that?
The only ones that were officially served with cease and desist orders were Ibanez. Ibanez was making, in the mid-'70s, in like 75, 76, Ibanez made a Les Paul knockoff guitar that had the open book headstock and had the Ibanez logo on it. But they only made it for like 2 years. So Ibanez was the only company.
Explorers and stuff
Yeah,
too, weren't
and
they?
yeah, they were making, because Gibson stopped making the Explorer. The Explorer was a failure the first time it came out.
Right, so Ibanez started making them, and another eye-opener for Gibson. They're like,
Yep.
geez, start making those.
So in this instance, this guitar was so well made that Gibson basically ceased and desisted Ibanez, and Greco changed the design a little bit. They changed their headstock logo. They changed the headstock a little bit, but they still made them for a while up through the mid-'80s, and then they went into negotiation with Gibson to make Orville. And so if you have an Orville Les Paul, it is the son, daughter, granddaughter of what this was, and this is the reason why Orville Les Pauls were made by Fujigen, who make the Ibanez Gem, and they make a lot of guitars. A lot of Japanese guitars are made by Fujigen, and this is their 1979 EG 800 PR Ace Frehley 74 Les Paul Custom Norland Edition knockoff, and it's a cool guitar. You
I
probably
have
won't
2
see another one.
words. Super cool.
Yeah, wicked cool guitar.
If you're from Boston, wicked cool.
Wicked cool. Pissa.
Yeah.
Wicked Pissa guitar. Guitar.
If you're from LA, it's gnarly, man. Gnarly, dude.
Yeah, you won't see many of these around.
Super cool. Can I play it?
Sure.
All right, let's plug it in. All right, so the way these are wired, down in the treble is just the bridge pickup. Center position is the bridge and the center. Okay, all the way up in the volume, tone.
Yeah. That's a Les Paul.
So all the way up in the rhythm is just the neck position. Thing plays great.
Yeah, what's fun about it is I think the Maxons are unpotted, and because of that, when you have a high gain amp and you crank this thing open, it'll squeal.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Dan Lawrence.
Bill Lawrence.
Bill Lawrence. Why do I mess that up? Dan was the painter.
And you can hear the boost on that Bill Lawrence, man. That thing is, I mean, all those pickups sound great. That's so clear. Crystal clear. I would put that against any Norlin Les Paul made during the period, and I bet that sounds just as good, if not better, than any of them.
Beautiful guitar, man. Thank you for bringing it in.
Enjoy. I'm proud of this one. This is a nice guitar.
Customer showcase videos, guys. If you are here close to the shop and you want to participate in a YouTube video with us, bring in your old guitar. If you want to brag about what you got in your collection, bring it on in. We'll do a video about it. And everybody have a great day, and thanks for watching.